she threatened to start up our rivalry all over again. I'd just become the proud owner, operator, chef, sales force, marketing director, and janitor of the Lickety Splits ice cream shop. At the risk of sounding melodramatic, opening my own business truly was nothing less than the realization of a lifelong dream, and the fact that my brand new shop featured my absolute favorite food in the entire universe made the whole experience even sweeter. Thanks to the randomness of real estate markets, it just happened that my store was located right across the street from the bakery that Ashley had been operating for a little over 5 years. I learned that because right after I'd moved back, the local paper, the Daily Roost, had run a big article about Sweet Things celebrating its 5-year anniversary, complete with photos. Still, the shop I'd rented had a great location, and everyone knows the #1 rule of real estate is location, location, location. It was on Wolfert's Roost's main thoroughfare, Hudson Street, and it was less than 100 feet from the charming town's busiest intersection. The front of my building was incredibly cute. It had a Victorian look, with ornate wooden columns framing the door and window boxes along the display window. Inside, it had a shiny tin ceiling and a black and white tiled floor. It even had an exposed brick wall that gave the place a touch of old-world charm. The space also happened to be the perfect size. In the front section, there was enough room for 2 glass freezer cases displaying the 18 flavors of ice cream that I intended to change from day to day, as well as the line of eager customers I'd hoped to regularly attract. But there was also room for 6 small, marble-topped tables, 3 along each wall. Each table accommodated 2 black wrought iron chairs with pink vinyl seats. And in back, there was plenty of space for the 2 industrial-size ice cream makers I'd installed, along with a gigantic ice cream freezer, 6 feet wide and 6 feet high, that provided enough storage space for at least 24 giant tubs of ice cream. I'd also squeeze in a big counter for chopping chocolate and shredding coconut. The moment the real estate agent took me inside the empty storefront, I'd seen its potential. As soon as I'd signed the lease, I jumped into realizing that potential. I'd had the exterior of the shop painted a soft shade of pink, then personally painted the wooden columns and the window boxes lime green. Next, I'd put a window bench in underneath the big display window, painting the slats pink and green. As a finishing touch, I'd filled the window boxes with pink and white petunias that spilled over the front and sides, the green of the leaves picking up the building's lime-colored accents. Inside, I'd hung paintings of ice cream concoctions along the brick wall. My BFF, Willow, had made them, since, in addition to being the most phenomenal yoga instructor in the Hudson Valley, she also happened to be an amazingly talented artist. On one, Willow had painted a gigantic ice cream cone. On the second, a banana split. And on the third, a huge ice cream sandwich. The colorful, almost cartoonish artwork was the perfect accompaniment to the glass display counters, technically called dipping cabinets, that ran across the opposite wall, showing off the vats of ice cream I whipped up in back. To me, Willow's paintings were a symbol of her confidence in me to succeed at creating a business based on one of the things I loved most in the world. But even better than the paintings of ice cream on Lickety Split's walls was the real ice cream. That, of course, was what it was all about. I planned to offer 3 basic types of ice cream flavors. The first type was the classics, like chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and coffee, but I was going to make them so rich and so flavorful that they were guaranteed to be the best version anyone had ever tasted. My classic Tahitian vanilla served as the perfect example, since it truly was made with vanilla that had come all the way from Polynesia. The second type reflected my own take on the slightly more adventurous flavors that were popping up everywhere. Hawaiian coconut that was made with actual strands of fresh coconut and big chunks of macadamia nut. Caramel sea salt that had ribbons of luscious caramel running throughout. Peanut butter on the playground, consisting of peanut butter ice cream made with freshly ground peanuts and sweetened with generous globs of grape jelly. The third type, which I was most excited about, consisted of my very own creations. The idea of being able to express my love of ice cream in unique ways was what made my heart pound and my head spin as I lay awake nights, thinking up fun and delicious new flavors. Strawberry rhubarb? I couldn't wait to make it, especially since I intended to add bits of pie crust pastry to make it just like the ever-popular pie. S'mores? Chocolate ice cream dotted with chocolate chips, little chocolate marshmallows, and broken-up pieces